afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our March Leaders Priority Meetup. This March is so exciting, and I'm really pumped because I'm joined with my sisters today, and I know it's going to be an amazing session. I'm looking forward to this discussion because these women, they are living the talk, they are walking the talk, and they are leading with passion and purpose. I admire them, I see them, I know them, and their work speaks for them. Their walk speaks for them as well. So it is really my privilege and honor to have you today. This is the Leaders Priority Meetup. And every first Thursday of the month, we come together like this to learn and have discussions on leadership and personal development. It's a platform where leaders share, leaders learn together, they grow together, and our focus is usually on self-leadership because we believe that when you learn how to lead yourself well, you can lead others well. So every first Thursday, you're welcome to join us on this platform. It's the same link every month. So come learn with us, grow with us, share your knowledge, your passion, your thoughts with us. And we look forward to seeing you on our subsequent editions. I'm going to take some time to introduce our panelists for today. Amazing women, sisters. I do not see Tina yet. Okay, but she's going to join us soon. All right, so I have with me Mercy Masila Achola. Mercy is an author, a seasoned leadership expert, and founder of Value Connect Management Consultancy Limited in Kenya. Her working career spanned over 20 years working with both public and private sectors before she ventured out as an entrepreneur in the last 9 years. Mercy is the recipient of the World Women Leadership Middle East Award 2019. She is a current chair for the services sector at the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and she is a committee member of Women in Manufacturing Steering Committee. Mercy has been married for 21 years to her friend and soulmate, Crispin Achola, and together they have an 18-year-old son, Shin. As a person of faith, her mantra is to be a river and not a reservoir, and she wants to die empty. And Mercy is also a Maxwell Leadership Certified Executive Program Leader. She is a member of the President's Advisory Council of the Maxwell Leadership Certified team as well. And if she is a PAC committee, a PAC committee member for the Live to Lead conference we host every year in October. An amazing leader leading with passion and purpose right where she is from Kenya and around the globe. Next is my sister, Ms. Ola Tokumbo Ige. She is an international human rights lawyer, peace and security, development and disarmament expert with over 30 years of experience working with governments, intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations, primarily in Africa. She recently retired from the United Nations and is now a social entrepreneur. Trained by the John Maxwell, now Maxwell Leadership Certified team, Tokumbo is a certified leadership and personal development trainer, coach, mentor, and human behavior consultant. She is the founder and CEO of the Living Stones Resources Center, an incubator, as well as principal consultant of TI Consulting, her leadership training and consulting outfit based in Togo. Tokumbo is the founder and CEO of Eco Village, an eco-friendly resort built with local materials. A devoted woman of faith and mother, Tokunbo is active in professional associations and networks in which she holds leadership positions. She is currently the World Business Angels Forum Senator for Togo, G100 Global Women's Network Security and Defense Committee Coordinator for Togo, and Global Ambassador Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club. Tokunbo is a seasoned trainer, a clear and persuasive orator who has spoken on many platforms, local, regional, and international, including the TEDx talks. Tokunbo has a great sense of humor, I know that, and she speaks English and French fluently. So next is Wumi Akinosotu. She is a women empowerment enthusiast, professional coach, and trainer. She is a principal consultant, CEO of the Blooming Hub, and founder of Blooming Ladies Cooperative Canada, a first of its kind multi-stakeholder cooperative. Wumi supports leaders around the world through her events, coaching, and capacity development programs. Her experience cuts across startups, nonprofits, cooperatives, and corporate organizations. Her focus is on helping women grow and improve themselves, especially in leadership and self-development, through coaching and intensive workshop sessions. Wumi's educational and career path has spanned the globe, taking her from Africa to Europe, to the Middle East, and to North America. She holds a bachelor's in management and accounting and a master's in business administration from the Heriot-Watt University, Scotland. Some of Wumi's areas of expertise are leadership and management training, coaching, DISC, human behavioral training, improving team and individual communication, presentation skills, improving individual or team performance, cooperativism, conference speaker and workshop facilitator, leadership retreats facilitation. And next is Coach BC Soji-Oyawoye. She is a transformational lead. And let me say this is the, we tried to put this in the message translation. When BC sent me her profile, when I asked her for her profile, she asked me, do you want the KJV or the message version? So after a while, she sent me the KJV version. I said, Kate, please convert it to message and let me see how it goes. So we tried to convert it to the message version. I hope it's okay. So BC is a transformational lead coach. Lead is L-E-A-D, and that means something she's going to tell us. I'm not going to say it. BC is great with acronyms, by the way, so you see it as she speaks today. So she has worked in the oil and gas sector for 30 years. And during her career, she recorded 3 first-time evers. The first integrated travel center coordinator, first female aviation supervisor in Escravos operations, and the first female logistics superintendent in Chevron Nigeria, Mid-Africa Business Unit. She has a certification in supply chain management from W.P. Carey School of Business, Arizona State University. And her life story from secretary to CEO is from secretary to CEO. She is a sociologist by training, and she holds certifications in women and leadership from the European Business University of Luxembourg. She equips leaders with exquisite lead tools to deliver results with excellence. LEAD is an acronym, like I said, and it means leadership, emotional intelligence, awareness, and development, personal and professional. She is an executive program leader and DISC behavioral consultant with the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team, and she's a certified emotional intelligence specialist, a certified neuroencoding specialist, and a licensed brain trainer. And our next panelist and guest is Tina Obogo. Coach Tina is a faculty and mentor with the Maxwell Leadership Youth Certification. She is a positive intelligence coach and a certified human behavior consultant, an executive program leader and leadership consultant for professional and personal development programs with the Maxwell Leadership Team. She is a compassionate and results-driven professional with over 25 years in banking and human capital development, people development, training, mentoring, coaching organizations to increase their influence and business income. Tina is versed in coaching executives and mid-level managers to attain mastery in self, leadership, and people development. She is also a success and growth mindset coach for introverted female entrepreneurs. Tina holds a master's degree in international human resources management from Kingston University, London, a postgraduate certificate in women entrepreneurship from Cornell University, USA, and a certificate in women in leadership and strategic management from the European Business University, Luxembourg. She is a member of several professional bodies, including the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, UK. So there we have our panelists, seasoned leadership professionals, women leading with passion and purpose. And it's really a privilege to have them here with us. As we discuss, as we go through the session, if you have questions, please write them down. Any question on leadership, on passion, purpose, they are equipped to answer it. So write your questions down and we'll take them as we go along. So welcome, ladies. Welcome, everyone, to the Leaders Priority March Meetup. Today, on the leading with passion and purpose. And I'm going to be asking questions. We'll start by asking, but I'd like the panelists to answer some questions for me. And my first question to them is, what does it really mean? What does leading with passion and purpose mean to you? What does leading with passion and purpose mean to you? So there's no particular order with the questions, but I'm going to ask our panelists to just speak. I'll start with the first person on my dashboard, the first panelist, and it's Takumbo. So please tell us, what does leading with passion and purpose mean to you?
Well, okay, thank you very much, Kate, and thanks to everyone. Thanks to those who joined us, on this very important panel discussion. I think for me, it's a very simple thing. It's leading from the heart. It's leading from within. It's not about, what you would call theories. It's all about the real me. And so it's about what I know that I have been made, I am here to accomplish in life. And that is what pushes me, my values, my purpose in life. And that is what kind of defines all that I do, where leading is concerned. When you lead, in my little experience in life, it's what, 6 decades or a little bit more than that now, is that when I lead from the heart, I'm actually leading from my inner person. I'm leading from as I said, the real me, as opposed to following rules and protocols. It's about removing the mask. It's about empathy. It's about compassion. It's about my purpose. Let me stop there since there's 5 of us to speak.
Mercy, to just answer the same question. What does leading with passion and purpose mean to you personally?
Thank you, Kate. It's such an honor to be here. I thank you for having me amongst such powerhouse women, and I truly appreciate it. So, what is leading with purpose and passion? Leading with passion and purpose mean? For me, it's about being authentic. And when I look at the two words, passion and purpose, the first thing that comes to me about passion, it's an inner drive. It's almost like lighting a fire. When we talk of passion or being passionate about something, it's being lit up. It's being like a light bulb, that provides light in darkness. And that's what for me passion represents in this case, because you're leading. So you're that light bulb or light that people look up to and know they can follow and be able to navigate and come out of whatever it is that they're feeling stuck. And purpose is really about knowing your why, understanding why you even here. And leading begins with leading oneself. So before you can lead others, you need to first lead yourself. So the combination of those two brings out the authenticity and the fire from within that helps you to become first a leader to yourself before you can even lead others. Thank you, Kate. Back to you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mercy. That's great. I'm hearing the same words, the same, and it's really amazing how everything is aligning. So I'm going to go to Wumi to tell us what that means to you, leading with passion and purpose.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kate. It's actually, I'm really excited to be here. It's an honor to be with this wonderful and amazing women. Yeah, leading with passion and purpose. I laughed when I saw the word passion and purpose, because the first ever workshop I did, 2011, I guess, so was on passion and purpose. And that's because those are two words that mean so much to me. I believe that, like Mercy said, if you've not found the fire within, you're not really living. And that is passion. If you've not found and recognized what is it that drives you, you're not living yet. If you're not living, then how can you lead someone else, right? So leading with passion, leading with purpose has to do with alignment to who you are, alignment to the way you've been modeled, the way you've been made, the way you are made to operate in the world, the reason why you exist, leading the way you were fashioned, and that talks to, number one, that the leader herself and myself as a leader, I'm very well aware of myself, aware of my strengths, aware of my weaknesses, aware of what drives me, aware of why I'm here in the first place, here in this world, here as in the organization I'm leading or the people I'm leading, what I'm there to achieve. So I said that is what leading with passion and purpose is. It's really knowing yourself and leading, being authentic, as Mercy said, having that alignment when you're leading and when I'm leading. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Wumi. Yes, I remember your workshop. I attended, in fact, you did a series, I think it was 3 series of that same workshop back then, and I attended all of them. It was good. All right, so let me go to Coach BC.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. This is an amazing one with such phenomenal women in the room and some phenomenal men as well, I see. I think we should just take the offering at this juncture. because really, we're going to be talking all different versions of the same thing. But for me, leading with passion and purpose just simply means living your life and leading your life from the inside out. It's about who you are, whose you are, why you are here, what you are doing, who you are being. It's about leading from your core, from your heart, from your soul. It's the inner game versus the outer game. It's about your internal operating system, imagining you're a computer. And in that system, it's about how you make meaning of life. What does it mean to you? Many of us are just living life, not leading our lives, because we don't even know what meaning is for us anymore. What's life for you? I mean, your decision making, your self-awareness, like you read out. I love to lead and I live to lead. And lead is an acronym for leadership, emotional intelligence, awareness and mindset reset, as well as development, personal and professional growth. And you know, I talk a lot about your five alive, the 5 key areas of your life. And it's just all about what is your purpose, your vision, your goals, your passion. And of course, the piranhas, the problems that will come up. All of that blending together and making you live a harmonious, meaningful life. So if you live your life from the center, from your core, that's living and leading life with passion. It's about staying true to yourself, your vision, and leading through your values. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach BC. I like how you mentioned values. Yeah. And really, like you said, the same versions of the same thing. And we need this, we really need these different versions, you know, because imagine when we had just KJV, a lot of people are just understanding. They're just understanding the Bible, yeah, right now because of the different versions that we've had come out over the years. So that's so good. Yeah, Tina, yes, Tina, what does leading with passion and purpose mean to you personally?
Hello, everybody, and it's exciting to be here amongst these dynamic and wonderful ladies. Great definition so far, and just like BC and Kate said, different versions to the same question. Just building on what Coach BC said, some of the things she said. For me, it's about what truly motivates you. And that goes back to leading from the inside. What motivates you? And like our mentor John would say, what makes you sing? What makes you cry? What makes you laugh? That's your passion. What is that thing that, I mean, we probably heard this analogy that you can go on 24 hours, 48 hours without asking for sleep, without wanting to eat food, and you're just going on about it. That's your passion. And then how do you align it with your purpose, the reason behind your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? You must first of all find out. Again, it goes back to leading from the inside. And that comes with awareness. It comes with the state of your mind. So what's your mindset? How aware are you? So simply put, leading with passion and purpose for me is about you discovering your why. What is that thing that you live for? That you're not just existing, that you are conscious, intentional about, and you actually want to make a positive impact in the society, living a life of significance.
Right on. Thank you, Tina. That's really good. That's amazing. What makes you sing, cry, laugh? And I hear from all the speakers as leading from the inside out, internal, coming from within. And I'm getting that there are so many questions coming to my mind. I'm going to stick with the ones that are prepared for now, but we'll take the questions later. I'll ask my questions later. And this goes to the audience, all those in the room with us. If you have questions based on what the speakers have shared so far, please post it in the chat and we'll take your questions from there. And if you want maybe there's a particular panelist you want to answer that question, specify as you post your question. And all those listening on Facebook, following on Facebook, post your comments and questions in the chat as well. We'll get to them during the session or after the session. We look forward to that. And yeah, I have another question for the panelists. This one is an open question, and I would like as many of you as feel led to take the question. All right. So this question is, how can leaders stay focused on their purpose while dealing with everyday challenges? How can leaders stay focused on their purpose while dealing with everyday challenges? We know the world, what's going on around us, there are challenges everywhere, and sometimes we get shaken from the inside out. So things happen, right? So how can we stay focused? How can we stay true to our purpose and still lead with passion? Who wants? Yeah,
I can kick it off. Like you
thank
said, there's
you.
just so much happening around us in our society. And for those of us who are Nigerians in Nigeria with the recently concluded election and everything. But for me, how can leaders truly stay focused on their purpose, while dealing with the everyday challenges? The first thing is that you must align with your vision. What's your vision? There must be an alignment between your vision and your values. What are those things that are true to you? And again, I mean, if we're looking at an organization, it's about talking about the culture of the organization. What systems and structure do you have in place? Jeff Henderson in his book, For, talks about what are you for? What are you for? As a leader of people, which we all are, you want to, first of all, establish what your core values are. What do you hold there? How do they reflect the organizational values and the individual values of those who work with you? So what are you placing as priority that will help you stay focused so that even when things don't work as you intend or things go in misalignment, which they will do from time to time, you're sticking with those things that are truly important, your values. Again, it goes back to why you do what you're doing. What are you for? What are those things that you hold very dear? So for me, staying focused comes with you aligning your vision with your values, not just the organizational values or the leader's values, but the values of those who are in your circle. That helps you to actually prioritize and to know what is truly important so that you don't deviate from what it is you have set out to do. So I'll just stop there.
Thank you, Tina. That's really good. Stay true to your values and be conscious of what your vision is. Be less focused from that. That's what I hear you say. You're right. Thank you so much. Yes, Takumo, your hand is up. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to Tina. I think Bisi said something earlier on about who you are, whose you are. I think the whose you are for me is the driving factor. I'm a woman of faith. I keep my focus on that faith as my number one anchor. It's that higher being that drives ultimately the purpose. Things happen, things have happened, things will happen. I can tell you lots of stories. When they happen, we need to first look inward because it's first about the you, then it's about the people who are around you, and it's about the wider society. Now, having a focus on the higher being who is the anchor helps also in making the decisions that you make as to how to, for me, it's the governing structure for what today we call emotional intelligence. How far connected, how seriously connected are you with that higher being? That didn't say there would not be a shaking, but it said when there's a shaking, I will be there. So it's about first making sure I can put myself in that space underneath the wings then those who are around me. Because if I can't, what I don't have, I can't give. If I can't put a hold on myself, I can't help anybody who's falling around me. I mean, it's always like that thing they tell you on the plane. If you hear us saying this plane is about to crash, please first remember yourself before you remember others. Sounds very crazy for a mother, but the truth is that if you're not able to hold yourself, you won't be able to hold others. So it is actually for me in that order that I must get a grip on myself. I get a grip on myself. I must help the people around me to get a grip on themselves. And together, we must think about the wider community out there. Let me stop here so that others can also.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Focus on the higher being. And first of all, look inwards, right? That's intense indeed. Yes, Mercy.
Thank you, Kate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right. So one of the things I would say that would help any leader to stay focused on their purpose while dealing with day-to-day activities or challenges, for me is I draw a lot of lessons from nature. And I want to give two examples, very aligned with what Tokubo and Tina have shared. And one is a tree that is deeply rooted and strong winds come blowing, and we've seen them. I know in this part of the world, we really don't experience that stronger winds, but we have seen on our televisions when there's those category 4, 5 storms and the winds are coming and some trees, they sway in the direction of the wind. But once the wind is gone or the wind changes direction, they will come back to where they stand. And the reason those trees are able to do that is because of their deep roots and how deep the roots go. And then the second analogy I want to share is about a ship sailing in the high seas. And when a ship is sailing in those high seas, as long as it does not get the waters, I know that waters of the oceans are a lot of waters. As long as it does not get those waters of the ocean inside the ship itself, that ship remains afloat. The moment it begins to take in those waters, it begins to sink. And so in the same way, as leaders, what we need to know, Tina mentioned our values, which dictate and determine our vision. Those are the things that will anchor us. And your values will really depend and determine how deep the convictions you have as a leader. And the deeper they are, the stronger you will stand for the things that you value most. And those do not change. They may change from season to season, but they remain your values. So in that season, we know when, like now, I just told you we're in Kenya, we are facing a very severe drought and heat. But that's an external thing. It doesn't change the values inwardly. The trees that have deep roots are still getting water, even though it is dry. They're still green because of what they have inside of them. And the same activities we're alluding to, whether it's the elections we've gone through in Nigeria, whether it's our drought here, those are the external things. And as long as we do not allow them to come in us, and we remain focused in the direction we're leading our people or leading ourselves, we remain focused on our vision, we remain prioritizing on the things that we want to do and have committed to do. I would add to what Tokubo says, the source is going to resource you, even in that dryness, even in that storm. You will find the necessary resources that you require to help you sail through because they are a fact of life. they will always be there. And so you want to affirm yourself like that tree, like that ship that is sailing in the high seas, and ensure that you remain steady on the ground that you stand. Back to you, Kate.
Right. Thank you, Mercy. I love those two. They beautiful. All right, Wumi.
Thank you very much, Kate, and thank you everyone that's spoken wonderfully well. I'm going back to the question again, as like, how do you keep focused on the priorities, on your purpose and passion when we go to the day-to-day challenges of life, like the mundane things that happen? And sometimes you get, I won't say carried away, but what's the right word? Because there are things to be done. There are administrative things to be done that maybe doesn't really fire you up. There are things that needs to be done. And many times those things, maybe they're urgent, they just comes to you. And just remind me of this, what's the name, the chart, or this quadrant thing, the urgent and important quadrant, where the urgent is then important and cool. And most times, if you check it, most times, not every time, those things that are called to you, those things that were like, that are called to your passion, to your purpose, might not be urgent, but they're important. And because if you don't take time, if you're not intentional about the word calendarizing it, it's not, putting it consciously that I'm going to do this. Maybe you have, you're leading a team, sitting down and coaching your team members, casting the vision over and over and over again when you have deadlines, when you have to reporting to do, might not come to you first because it's not urgent. But the truth is that if you focus, if you carve out time to spend with your the people you are leading, your staff, your employees, and continue casting the vision, sharing the purpose, your passion, letting them see, let them understand the values of the company and see how it merges with their own values. Those are your passion. Those are things that you might enjoy doing. But because they're not urgent, you can easily put them at the back burner. And before you know it, you just go through the drag of life. And the best of us might find ourselves there once in a while, and you have to what am I doing here? Why am I here? So it's just that consciousness, it's that intentionality, Maxwell would say, to really put what is important first. Another thing that comes to mind is a jar. I think many of us would have heard that story before. I'm putting the important, like when you're putting pebbles into a jar, I'm putting the big pebble, the important ones inside first, and then other things can now find their place. So I think that is how we can do that day to day.
Thank you, Wumi. Yeah, thank you so much. Those are great analogies. Focus on the big rocks, be intentional, and stay with your most important task first. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's go to some questions in the chat. Some questions are coming up from what we've shared so far, and I'd like us to just take them.
Okay, do you want me to share before the questions?
Okay, PC.
Sorry, let me just
go ahead.
Before the questions.
Great, that's good.
Again, amazing contribution from, I told you these ladies are phenomenal women. And I am so proud to be amongst them today. But I will stick to my message version. I think Tina is King James. So going back to what I said.
Amplified version.
Amplified. No, I think it's Katokumbo that is KJV. Leading with passion and purpose is an inside job. As a person of faith, the Bible says that in this world, we will have tribulation. It didn't even say we will have problem. It gave us serious English, tribulation. Now, what it didn't put there is that if you are Nigerian, your tribulation is additional. It's in multiples. That is why you must never, ever forget who you are and whose you are. It is an inside job. I think it's Christian Simpson who used to tell us that if you fail to go within, You will go without, and you will ultimately stand still without.
Mm.
If you keep looking for external validation and forget your internal verification, you're going to run into problems. You will be misaligned and you will need life balancing and alignment. So it's an inside thing. You have to understand, is Dr. O uses the phrase, he says you must stop. And STOP is an acronym for staying true on purpose. Anytime you feel a whirlwind in your soul, you must pause. That's where the emotional intelligence comes in. You must stop, stay true on purpose. Go back to what is my purpose? What is my vision? What are the goals I set for myself in the 5 key areas of my life for me, in your fiber life? And that's where, again, like I said, your faith comes in. Who are you? Whose are you? That's your spirituality, not religion. Your spirituality, your connection with God. Then you also go to, I think these big companies did this on purpose to distract us as humans. With everything going on in the world, these gadgets, the things you see, the news you see, CNN is constant negative news.
Mm.
So what diet in your fitness dimension of your fiber life is not just about the physical, what you eat. It's about what you are feeding your mind, your body, and your soul through what you are listening to, hearing, seeing. In the past few weeks of this Nigeria's election, I think I've lost weight. From the news that comes and my heart just falls, bam. And so you have to be intentional about what are you feeding on? What are you listening to? What are you hearing? Not everything that you see and hear on the internet is real. The truth is not in the appearance of things.
Mm.
So you have to audit what you are listening to, because what you are eating may also be eating you. What you are eating according to your ears and your eyes and your mouth may also be eating you up. So the distractions, what is taking you away from your purpose, from your vision, it's not everything you say yes to. No is a powerful sentence. And this is what I do. My purpose is my North Star. My purpose is my alignment machine. If you ask me to do something and it is not in alignment with my purpose, I will tell you no. Especially if you're an I or an S on the disc. You don't have to please everybody. Be a people person, not a people pleaser. If you want to please everybody, you will burn out. You cannot satisfy everybody. So go back to your purpose. Your purpose is your anchor. It's your North Star. It is why you do what you do. If you don't have your purpose, your vision, and your goals in those key areas of your life, then everything that comes at you will distract you. And you cannot know who you really are until pressure comes. Pressure reveals content. You cannot press Pepsodent and find close-up. Sorry, I'm old school. What's the new toothpaste in town? Colgate. And find Aquafresh. If pressure comes, it's what's in you that is going to come out. So again, the distractions, you have to be mindful of them. You have to be fully present in the present and in its presence. Consciousness is everything. Distractions comes when you are not conscious of even what you're doing. And so in my flourish dimension, I say I take my meds every day. Meds is another acronym. M is for meditation. I sit still, be still, and know that He is God. Regardless of what is going on around you, do not let the externals affect your internals. You must be in a continuous state of homeostasis. Homeostasis is not allowing what is going on outside to affect you inside. So take your meds, meditation, E for exercise. I do my daily walks. It helps my mental and emotional state. And then the D, development. What are you doing in the area of personal growth? Diet, what are you taking in apart from the physical food? What are you taking on the news? What are you taking on? Social media has become social murder. Everybody is doing all sorts on social media. And if your heart is not strong, you can die. And the S is for sleep. Find time to sleep. Rest. You may not even shut your eyes to sleep, deep sleep, but rest. You must operate from a place of rest, going back to purpose, going back within. Thank you.
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Coach BC, for those acronyms. As usual, I love them. I love them. I'm trying to all the acronyms, what they stand for, but I know that you're always free to share them on your page. If you go to Coach BC's page on LinkedIn, Facebook, you can find all those acronyms. She's very abundant. She has an abundance mindset and she shares extensively. All right, so thank you for that. Okay, I'll save my questions until later, but let's take questions from the chat. I'm seeing from Sharon, wonderful examples and introductions. I was wondering how you recognize values and whether they are determined by the priority you give them. Please provide an example if possible. How do you recognize your values and are they determined by the priority you give to them? So let's hear from, let me go to Mercy on this one. Mercy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate. And I will answer from what I know, because we cannot give what we do not have.
Right.
And in the Maxwell leadership team, what we define as values, we have a certain descriptor, words, about 39 of them. They're not exhaustive, but whenever we run our session, we normally share these values out so that you're able to see and examine yourself, what is important to you. And you'll find that these are everyday things. They're not words that are uncommon to us. For example, we have family and faith as a value. We have commitment, we have courage, we have money, we have balance, we have health and well-being. So the names and the values description is extensive. However, when you find these values in front of you, you will always see that all of them, you probably say, all these are important values to me. But what you need to do is then go back and prioritize. Normally in my sessions, I will say, pick your top 5. And as you pick your top 5, every value, let me even pick a sample. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
I think I got one near me. Probably not. Okay, I'll find one before the end of the session. But basically, if faith or family is a value you have, it means that at that point in time, in everything you're doing, what you wake up to do, what you're reflecting on, what is so important for you, as Wumi was saying, important, urgent, it means that family is that value for you at that point in time. The key thing to note, however, is that your values will change depending on the season that you're in. For example, I'm now an empty nester. Family is still important to me, but one of my family has grown wings and has flown away. So in terms of that being a priority value for me, it has diminished. Does it mean that they're not still a value? They are, but it has diminished in terms of importance and urgency for me. And so you want to determine the season you are in and pick out the value that most resonates with you for that season and then use it to anchor you. And sometimes you will find a value that is almost very similar. For example, honesty as a value vis-a-vis integrity. Now, for some people, they'll say, is it honesty? Is it integrity? In my case, integrity goes far and beyond than honesty. So if I find the two values, I'm more likely to pick integrity as a value because it does incorporate honesty. You cannot be a person of integrity if you're not honest. And so again, that language, whether it is the MSG or the NIV version of BC, you pick those meanings in the language that you understand and most resonates with you. And I always encourage, if you're a leader, take the time to understand and know the values of the team that you are leading. Why so? If Tina and BC are in my team and family is an important component for them, and it means that they want to spend some time with family. So me asking them to come and work on a weekend or after hours, I am infringing on their value system. How would I handle that? I would say, Tina, BC, we got this work to be done. I do recognize the weekend is an important time for you and your family. I recognize you need to leave work on time because you have kids to pick up and all that. So what would you say? How would you suggest that we still have you tackle this job that needs to be done, but respecting the time you have? And if you did that, you'll be amazed by the solutions that the team you lead will come up with in the context of helping the team go along. I'll give one example so that you can see real life experience. One of the clients that I deal with had a particular man in their team, production floor. You hear, I'm very manufacturing based. And this guy needed to take time off every month for at least 2 days. And for the longest time, nobody could understand why, until the HR manager went and spent time and spoke to them. And this guy said, you know, every month I need to take time off because my wife gets extensive period pains. And I need to be there with her, to support her, to work with her, because without me, there's nobody else to support her. And once this manager got to know that, there's no way you can tell him to take a day off. He'll finish his leave on that. So what they came up with was a solution that, yes, every month he needs to go and be with his wife. But how was he going to make up for the time that he was not at work? And you can imagine what transpired. That man shows up to work with more energy, more motivation, has high productivity because his manager understood this value of him needing to be there for his wife every month for those 2 days. So that is an example of how, if you understand the values that you have and your team, and you work around them, that you can still have enhanced productivity and more motivated and committed team members. Back to you, Kate.
Right. So much, Mercy. And I love that the dimension you just put out there. And that's something to think about as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as company executives, right? It's not just about your organizational values anymore, but you also need to consider the personal values of your team, the members of your team, because if there is no alignment, there is bound to be conflicts and different other issues arising. Yeah, I love that perspective. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Tokumbo. You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. Thanks, Mercy. There was just something that was running in my mind as Mercy was talking, and it's something even just yesterday I was going through it, and that's the importance of communicating our values. I'm also in an industrial, I've ended up in, working with different people from different shapes, colors, and whatever. And I realized that there's nothing like an organizational value structure if it's not communicated. And the role the leader has in shaping that is paramount. I think that's even what we've been learning from the Maxwell leadership thing. But you could say that those of us who go to the Maxwell leadership meetings are kind of the same stock in some kind of way. But then when you're even in the so-called mixed stock type environment, communication is so key. People, you know, it's and the leader has that immense role to ensure that, you know, you give that direction so that everyone knows that they've made the choice to be a part of this. There are certain things that they probably hold, you know, whatever, but when especially because there's a lot of negative values running around us. I mean, like BC said, social media. I mean, we all know these things. Just this morning on one of the platforms, I'm not in Nigeria, but of course I'm a Nigerian. And on one of our platforms, we were clear about what we were up to and everything. And suddenly somebody, I think out of an emotional outburst, came up with something. I read it and I thought, when did we start switching to these kind of things? So I was so happy that our leader came in immediately and said, remember, here, these are the things that go. You know, we are all happy or sad or whatever, depending on where you're from. But for right now, we're really focusing on the peace and the whatever. You know, it has to be communicated. Sometimes we let go, and if we make the mistake of letting go, then we can really run into trouble. So that was just something running on my mind, and I just thought I'd put it back on the table. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Indeed, communicating our values is key, because there's no point having values if they're not communicated, right? If it's only inside of you, it's not communicated then. So there could be some confusion, because people will be left to guessing that, okay, you're acting this way because these are your values. Awesome. All right. Let me look at the chat once again. Nice one. Good, great question, Sharon. Thank you for that. So Frank from Facebook is asking, I need an enlightenment on these words: passion, vision, purpose, goals, and challenges. So this one, I think what he means is he would like to have some clarity on this one. We've talked about passion, vision, purpose, goals. So I'm not sure I'm really understanding this question really well. So Frank, if you can clarify, please.
Yes, I think what he's asking, he wants to know the difference between those words.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he's asking. Yeah.
Thank you. Right. So I'm just going to go back to my amazing sisters here. And also, if you have an idea, you can also post your contributions in the chat. For all those listening, please, if you want to, you are free to share in the chat what you think about all this, your opinion, your point of view. We welcome that, as well as your questions. So Umi, would please share some.
Okay,
yeah.
I was trying to explain what it meant, but anyway, I'll go for it. So we think we've spoken about passion. I don't know if the person listening then said, and I think I'll just go with the fire within, something that drives you. What's the thing that drives you? It's a fire within. I love saying fire because that's what because it's no fire, it burns. Fire is not cool. And passion is something that drives you, makes you go on. You can do it forever. So that's your passion, right? Your purpose is the reason why you exist. I know Kay speaks better French than I, and then think Olatukumbo too. Is it raison d'etre, they call it raison d'etre. Yeah. So the reason why you exist. And then many people ask, how do you know? It's a different process. And I believe it comes when you give time to self-awareness and you're really trying to discover things about yourself, but we're not going to how you discover your purpose. So I've said passion, I've said purpose, and I'm just giving it just some bit on it. Vision. Vision is, I will use this analogy. Vision is what you see that is going to be or that can be. So as a believer, I say vision is what I believe God has showed me. Not vision of maybe I was sleeping or an angel showed appeared to me. What can be is the possibility I see of the future for a thing. That is the vision, right? Then goals. Goals should actually be what will take you to your vision. Should be. But many times we just wake up, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. So that is how I'll play. So I'll come back to passion. So how will all these things come together? Passion drives me. I'm passionate about women development, women empowerment. That's my passion. Not only even women, but with women right now, because at first when I was a younger person, I just love to see people get better. I love to pull out something when I see it in someone, even if I've not yet recognized it yet. Right? I'm passionate about it. I love to talk. So all these things together, I now see, okay, how does this work together? I'll say my purpose in life, first of all, as a believer, is to give glory to God. That is our common denominator, right? But my purpose in life, I believe, is to help people to discover themselves and to unleash that gift and that gift or that seed of greatness in them. Then my vision, I have great visions. I'm not going to go into that. It's what I see God has painted for me of my future, where I'm going to. But most times it's going to be hand in hand, right? I want to, my vision will now be to go to now be an IT person, because it might be for somebody because I don't have a passion for it. It's not something that I think I see it linked to my purpose. Maybe not, maybe IT could, but for me, it's not. So my vision is linked to all these things. Then my goals are to now break down, how do I want to accomplish that? This is what God has shown me. So for this month, what little things can I do to get there? For 2023, in 5 years' time, your vision, that is goals. Your vision now, so your goals now break those vision down to 5 years' time, 10 years' time, this day. And then, yeah, I think I'll stop that.
All right. Thank you, Wumi. Yes, thank you for that. Tina, would you like to add to that?
His hand was up. Okay.
Oh, I missed that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Tina, go ahead.
Go ahead, Coach Risi.
Oh, okay. So thanks for that, Wumi. And again, like I said, maybe because I'm a third-class graduate from a first-class university in Nigeria, I love to keep things super simple, just so that I can understand. Otherwise, I'll be so confused. And that's why I use a lot of acronyms. Now, for me, to help this guy a little, I say there are 5 P's that help me to succeed in life. And those 5 P's, the first one is purpose. If you have not found a book to read in March, I would suggest you read The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. He breaks it down to pieces. If you have finished reading that book and you still cannot discover your purpose, then come and find Kate. She will help you. So, purpose for me, again, is your North Star. It's like the GPS of your life. Rick will say, why on earth are you here on earth? God doesn't make mistakes. He dropped you here for a purpose. And he particularly dropped you in Nigeria for a purpose. So all those who are jackpying, unless God has redirected the purpose, you will jackpot and you will meet us here. Okay? So purpose is why you do what you do in your life. What is your why? And that is why if you do not, Sister Tokumbo alluded to it, you have to be able to communicate your values. You also have to be able to communicate your purpose, first to yourself. And for you to do that, you must be able to articulate what you want to communicate. If you don't articulate it, you can't even understand it, then you can't explain it to somebody else. So your why, that's the first P, your purpose. It's why you do what you do. The second P, I call your picture. It's actually your vision. And your vision is simply a picture of your future. But you cannot feature in the future that you cannot picture. Let me take that again. Your vision is the picture of your future, but you cannot feature in the future that you cannot picture. That is why you have to be able to dream, to imagine. That's that picture that you will hold, the image that you will hold in your head when all things are failing. You must be able to hold that picture. What is it that I had in my mind? And I read in Proverbs, in the Message version, if you fall to pieces in a crisis, there wasn't much to you in the first place. So what is that purpose? What is that picture? The third P is passion. Just find out what that thing is that will light a fire, a big fire that is big enough inside of you to create a lasting change and for you to become bold enough to ignite it. Most of us know our purpose. Most of us know our vision, but we don't even have the passion to light that fire. We don't have the courage to light the fire. It's that fire that propels you to move towards your goal. The fourth P is your plan, and that's where your goals fall into. Your goals are the little building blocks that will take you from point A to point B. Sometimes when you set a goal, it looks so big and overwhelming. That's why you break it down into little chunks. It's the little things that make a big difference. Don't wait to make a big, just like Nigeria's elections. We didn't get to where we are in one day. And we're not going to expect a perfect change in one election. So it is a process. Honor your struggle, honor the process, trust that process because the process will work. And the last P for me is what I call piranhas. Piranhas are like fishes that eat up other fishes. And those are the challenges, the problems. Everybody has challenges. Doesn't matter what you are looking like. Thank God we don't look like what we go through. Thank God for the wig on and the makeup. But everybody has challenges, man or woman. And so know that they will be there. So that's why in the different times and seasons of your life, you begin to build in the seasons where you don't have challenges. Because like John says, just wait. If you are not having problems right now, just wait. There's one around the corner. So in that time, when you're on the mountain, build yourself in the 5 key areas of your life, your 5 alive. Build resilience, build your muscles in the gym of your 5 alive. Because when that valley comes, you will need the strength, you will need the anchor, you will need the purpose, you will need your vision to hold you straight. I hope with these few words of mine, I have convinced you that the Message version is the best.
Yeah, Coach, the Message version, the way it breaks things down, you just wonder, am I reading the same Bible, but that's why we have, and sometimes you go to the amplified version and you find out, okay, I think I get it here, So thank you for the various translations. They're helpful. It's good to see things from different perspectives because, like you said, some of us are the third class graduates, second class lowers. We are second class, and the first class, well, we know them. Great people, amazing people. All right, so Tina, you wanted to say something on this question. So please, let's hear.
Not a lot. I mean, it's all been said between BC and Wumi. But just to say that in all of this, when you understand what you're passionate about, if you know what your purpose is, and you can actually align your vision with whatever the goals that you're trying to achieve in a particular time, because your vision necessarily may not change.
Yeah.
But your goals will keep changing, they keep transforming, they keep evolving. What will help you get to where you want to go to? So once you can understand all of this, the potential you have to achieve whatever it is you're seeking at that point in time will be greater once you can marry all of it together. So I love that he brought us out, Frank. So if you're still listening on Facebook, thank you for actually bringing it out for us to actually talk about it. Because a lot of times we just, model things up. We really don't have the truth, we don't understand how all of this come together, or how you can even, separate them to help you get to where you need to go to at a particular time. So it is really important that we understand what our passion is. And as human beings, we keep evolving. Who I am today is not who I was 5 years ago. It's not who I was even last year. And the only reason that can take place is because you continue to grow. You allow yourself to be in a growth environment. So in all you're doing, for you to understand your passion, to know that you're walking in line with what your vision is, you're walking towards your purpose, achieving your purpose, you must stay in a growth environment. That's very, very key. That's what will help you to recognize where you need to be, where you need to go, and what potentials that you have in you that you've not even seen, you're not exploring. And like Bisi said, what book are you reading? It's the new month of March. Pick a book. Try to read something. We've lost that value of reading. So many of us don't read. The social media is good. It has its good components, but we need to learn to develop that culture of, trying to stay off it. Because for me, I don't know, this is my perspective, there's more damage than good, depending on how you use it. So we need to bring back some of those things, revive those things that will help us to actually grow to where we want to go to. Again, it goes back to understanding what your values are. What is important to you? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months, over the next 1 year or couple of years? So all of these just have a way of tying in to make you that complete person that you desire to be. I just wanted to contribute that.
Thank you so much, Tina. Great. And Tina mentioned something about taking time off social media. She actually did a social media detox in December. Was it November, December, or just December?
No, December into January. I think I came back at the end of January.
Yeah, December, January. She did a social media detox. And I kept looking, oh, Tina, where are you? She said, I'm off. And that was really a good one. Something we need to try from time to time. Just take some time off and detox our minds. Great session, great questions. I think we have some more questions in the chat, but I would like our panelists to take this question before we move back to the chat. And please feel free to contribute, to share your views, your points in the chat. We'd love to read them. We'd love to hear your thoughts. I can see my big brother SOJ here. We would love to hear your thoughts at some point. And Sly is here, Uncle Sly, as we call him, he's here too. Coach Yemisi and Marta, Lucy, we acknowledge all of you. Puana, thank you for joining. Angelica and Sharon, we would love to hear from you. Please feel free to post your points, your contributions in the chat, or we'll have some time where you can unmute and share them as well. But let's take this last question, and then we can open up, the room for others to speak. Now, what does leading with passion and purpose have to have on employee engagement, retention, and productivity? What does leading with passion and purpose have to do with employee engagement, retention, and productivity? So, we're open. I see Tokumbo is smiling. But I don't know if you want to unmute yourself and share from that. But I have a big problem.
Yeah,
I was thinking Soji, I would love him to contribute to this.
Yeah,
at some
I think
point.
maybe I should let him contribute to that. And I hope he will contribute to that. But the reason why I was smiling was because yesterday something happened. I mean, it's just a quick story. And I, everybody around me here knows that, Madam is ready to fix it, things that, people, because a lot of people around me here take things for granted, everything is just kind of slow a la Nigerian. My assistant is sitting here and I'm sure she's laughing her head off already. So things are usually pretty slow, and Madam wants it done. We need to get it done. We need to start running.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the process, certain things are blocked. People get themselves, they find that they haven't done something they should do. Then Madam knows who to call. And so Madam will call, and then it gets fixed.
Mm.
So everybody knows that I have that tendency of, let's get it going, So yesterday I just passed by one of my places, and it's young, all of them are young people. And then the HR woman says to me, we're taking on these young people, and we're using one of the agencies, one of the projects that government has put in place through that to bring them on board so that they actually have something, because all of them dropped out of school for one thing or the other. I think there was only one of them who really said it was for money purposes, where the others were like, anyway, I didn't let it bother me. I was like, okay, learn something new. At least, it's an opportunity and so on. And so these kids are supposed to have carte d'identité, national identity cards, or go and register the whatever. So they don't do it. They're sitting there. I found them an opportunity to come into work life and actually start some kind of a professional life. They're waiting for me to come and be the one to carry them to go to carte d'identité. So they come to me with the usual, oh, madam, vous savez, yeah, madam, excuse me, this, whatever. Before I would have said, oh, yeah, let me call X to whatever. So something in me said, why are you going to do that? So I got up. I said, call me the phone. So they came to me. I said, what's going on? Why don't you have your whatever? Oh, he deposited it somewhere. Oh, whatever. Lame excuses. So I looked at them. I said, you want to work? You want to get this opportunity? You will have to do this time.
Hmm.
I could see the faces of all the colleagues because they were not expecting that. They were expecting Madam to take out her phone. And so I said, no. And I something in me just said, don't do that today. And I suspect that these kids must have been disappointed because somebody had assured them that Madam will sort out that problem. So for me, again, it's alignment, knowing what the moment requires me to do. And that must come from within, not necessarily from just the circumstances that are flying around me, but something that says, if you want to empower these people, at some point you have to apply the baton. You're not just going to say, whatever. No. So that for me, that was why I was smiling, because I break it down, as BC says, to very simple issues.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's good, because it's really about transferring your passion and purpose to your people. So maybe another way of saying this is, how do you really ignite that passion and purpose in others? Yeah. Coach BC, your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Sister Tokumbo, for that. That's really true. So for me, as it concerns employee retention and all of that, so I worked in oil and gas for 30 years. And in those 30 years, I had about 12 roles. About 8 of them were supervisory roles, and about 3 of those roles were supervising men only. Now, there was nothing in my CV that qualified me to take those 3 jobs. I knew nothing about aviation, knew nothing about logistics and driving that way, knew nothing about travel. The one thing that helped me, apart from technical know-how that I knew a little bit about, was understanding people and treating people as people, building relationships. I keep saying I'm a third-class graduate of a first-class university in Nigeria. You can be a first-class graduate and a no-class person because you lack emotional intelligence. When you talk to people anyhow, just because you are the boss, you've lost it. Now, if we've talked about leading with passion and purpose, meaning that you lead from within, you lead from your heart. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People matter, whether we like it or not. You must touch their hearts before you ask for their hands. How could I have led 750 drivers, male drivers, majority of them from Warri and Port Harcourt? If you know where Warri and Port Harcourt are, you know that they have no regard for women. Not to talk of a woman my size, and you don't want to know my size. The only thing is you must touch their heart, and that's what I always aimed for when I got into the role. Forget the position, forget your title, because they don't care. What they want to know is, does this person value me? And that's why John always talks about, I call it popping. You must pop, P-O-P, people over profit, because your emotions drive people and people drive performance. If the people are not well emotionally, your bottom line is gone. No matter how many rules and regulations are there, find out where they are at. You must meet them where they are and bring them up. So always touch their hearts. People drive performance. Always remember that. If you want your numbers to rise, speak to their hearts. Connect with their hearts. Make sure they are valued and they feel valued. I think it's Maya Angelou that says, people will forget what you said to them, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Make them feel like humans. As an emotional intelligence specialist, my job is to preserve what it is to be human. That we have lost over the years. That's a value we need to get back. It's as easy as saying please and thank you. Some people, you'll be shocked at what will happen when you talk to them the way you will talk to a person. Even your house helps, your drivers, treat them with respect. John Maxwell will say, don't stop at the golden rule. Don't do unto them as you want them to do unto you. Treat them better than they expect to be treated. That's my 2P.
Right. Thank you so much, Coach BC. Yes, indeed. And that's echoing what Mercy said before about aligning your organizational values with the values of your people. It's so key. It just brings that back to my mind, because really recognizing that these are individuals and they have emotions, they have feelings, they have values, they have their own vision. So really getting to know them and understand what's important to them as well. It's so important, because sometimes I think organizations, executive business leaders, they kind of get one-sided. We're only thinking about the business, the operations, the profits, the bottom line. And yes, we think about the people sometimes, but not enough. So that's really great. Putting people over profits. Very important. Thank you. All right, so let's get back in the chat. We just have a few minutes before we round up. So I'm going to open up let me open up the meeting for those in the room who want to contribute. You want to unmute yourself and say something about this topic, leading with passion and purpose. And what does that really mean to you as a leader, or how can you ignite your passion and purpose in your people as well? So I'm opening up the room right now for some contributions as we get ready to round up. And I would love to hear from you. SOJ, would love to hear from you. You can unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Well, very lovely initiative, kids, and I was just going to be a fly in the wall. Now that you've insisted, I believe. My experience basically is, as John says, you can't lead people if you don't truly love them. And once you love people, and love is an active word, it's something that is felt and experienced by the recipient. It's not what you say. So a lot of role modeling is involved. Secondly, that passion, no one person acting alone can ever achieve anything great. So even that passion, including that purpose that we are gifted by God, it's never first just for our own benefit. And secondly, he always puts people on the track to help lift our hands up along the paths. So the best way to fulfill and achieve that purpose of passion is to quickly have that recognition, find in all that you need to do, the things that 20% of your skills and effort and experience, when deployed, will deliver 80% outcomes. What most leaders tend to do is trying to do everything, because naturally, the more successful results you deliver, everybody wants to come back to you for every next thing.
Yeah.
So it takes a self-retrospection to learn to build around you rather than you doing the doing. Build around you the appropriate capacity for people to do what they can do, invest 20% in and deliver 80% results. Otherwise, you'll find out you are spending 80% of your time doing things that only have 20% value add to the process and the business. That's what I've learned in my experience and over time. And what you also achieve is then you are increasingly able to move on into some more strategic leadership. And then things just work. I mean, I'm at a stage in my businesses currently that many times I wonder what I'm doing here, because it's like they don't need me anymore. Things just get done. But then what I've found happen is I'm able to quickly discover other lines of businesses and pivot. That's because you have painstakingly built that capacity. And once people around you begin to see that their inputs matter, and they can see the outcomes that is delivered from their inputs, they just own the process. They're no longer employees or team members. You just have several leaders. And I think that basically means you would have pushed yourself to that fourth level of leadership, as it is, where you have built relationships, you have delivered results, you have also built leaders, as it is. So I think I can comfortably say I'm between level 4 and level 5 leadership currently now, thanks to God and John Maxwell. Thank you very much.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, SOJ. And that is really, and that is why leaders, you've really just broken down the reason why leaders have to transfer that passion and purpose to their people. Because in the words of Coach BC, you can't kill yourself. So you will kill yourself if you want to just do it all by. Imagine if the fire is burning only within you. That means that fire is consuming only you. You'll be dead on arrival. All right, thank you so much for that contribution. I'm going to ask one more person to speak as we round up. You can unmute yourself or raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I don't want to keep our panelists longer than I promised them. So I am going to go around and ask them for a final word. Just tell us what you would love to leave us with, concerning this topic, leading with passion and purpose. And I would love you to speak from the perspective of women, knowing that this is March, well, for me, March is dedicated to women. I know we only have March 8th, but the entire month we make a lot of noise and there's a focus on women. So would you please leave us your last thoughts? Thank you. I'll start with, let me start with Mercy. Yeah.
Okay, Kate, thank you so much once again for having been in this forum and listening to, I have written notes. I have pages and pages of notes. So as much as I was a panelist, I have learned from everybody. And I truly appreciate my fellow panelists for pouring into me as they have poured to the rest of the people. What would be my parting words is an in specific recognition that this is the month of March when we celebrate women, is that when it comes to leadership, it's no longer a matter of, for the longest time, again, being in manufacturing like BC, I worked in organizations whereby I was the only, or amongst very few women. I remember in one such organization, the team members would come around, they'll be saying, yes, yes, and they'll say, yes, sir, and they'll say, oh, sorry, madam. They remember, they're so conditioned to saying yes, sir, and then, oh, sorry, there's a madam now that I'm speaking to. And what I have learned over these years, now we're seeing more and more women being celebrated as leaders. And I always say there's nothing like women leaders. You're first a leader, then a woman. So there's nothing like women in leadership or women leading. We're all leaders. Then our gender follows, And I think that is a pride we need to have in ourselves as women. I don't think there's any gender that portrays passion like we do as women. And so let's be passionate about being leaders. We have led without roles and positions. And we do that so well in the homes that we run and manage. In fact, sometimes the men struggle. You can always know when a woman is not in that home. I lost my mother-in-law about 5 years ago. And I haven't been that frequenter of going home because I felt I was missing something. And the last few weeks I've spent there, I could actually feel her absence, not because she's physically gone from us, but because of the things that are not where they're supposed to be, or things running the way they're supposed to run, because she's not there. So everyone in the session, I'm not trying to disregard the men who have joined us. But I think just telling all of us, let's celebrate our leadership. Let's be passionate about it.
Yeah.
Let's roll it out because that is our mission. That is our purpose. And let the people around us see us as the light. Let's shine our light that others will be drawn to it. Let us be the salt of the earth. Because you and I know that food without salt gets discarded because not many people will eat it unless it's for health reasons. So let's be the light and the salt of the world in our communities, in our sphere of influence, because that is the mission and the purpose of our living. Thank you, Kate, for having me. I truly appreciate you and everybody else on this call this afternoon. Thank you. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you, Mercy. Great. Thank you for that. Salt and light. Awesome. Wumi?
Okay, thank you very much, Mercy. That was great. I'd like to say it's Women's Month. So women, rise and lead. Rise and lead is enough of giving excuses and saying you don't have this, you don't have that. Meanwhile, you're already leading, because leading is influence. I'm sure you're leading your kids, you're leading people that you don't know. Just be intentional about it. Be bold to own your voice and speak out. Lead where you are, show up, and just be the change. Stop looking out for somebody else to be the Messiah. You step up and be the change that is expected where you are. So rise and lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Wumi. Yeah, Tina.
Thank you so much, Kate, and all the panelists. Like Mercy said, it's been an amazing time of learning, unlearning, and relearning. And for me, one thing that's really key for us all to do at this point in time, especially for women who are nurturers, that's who we are. But you can give what you do not have, so you have to develop yourself. And it comes from being aware. So borrowing from Coach BC's word, emotional intelligence. How aware are you? Even in the emotional intelligence field, it starts with self. The first 3 paradigm are you, before you begin to go into the social, the other. So you must have it in you. And it boils down to everything we've said here, internalizing, coming from the inside. So you must build yourself. And so like everyone has said, take the bull by the horn, develop yourself. Do it afraid. Like John would say, you're never good the first time, but what? Do it anyhow. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Takumbo, final words.
Yeah, I think my final word has everyone that has spoken has taken one of my final words. So I'll just underline, be intentional about it. I'm operating out of a society, should I say, that is probably a bit different from where others are, most of those who are online are. And I realized that without intentionality, I would have been swamped by, oh, you don't understand how it works. Yeah. So the intentionality is what drives, that keeps the fire in my passion burning. And I think that's what we as women need to continue to be intentional about, celebrating ourselves and doing what we need to do at the time that we need to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Be intentional. Yeah, Coach BC.
Thank you so much for such an amazing time with phenomenal people. I just want to remember Professor Yana. I think Tina and Yemisi will remember Professor Yana in EBU. And she said, we have so many warriors of brilliant minds, but we need warriors of brave hearts. Leading with passion and purpose is leading with a brave heart. We have many warriors of brilliant minds. Those are the first classes and stuff, but we need warriors of brave hearts. Be aware of your values, because you're going to live and lead through your values. You must understand them and articulate them and be able to write. And I say, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be huge. Just identify bit by bit what you stand for, because if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything. Remember your 5 P's: purpose, passion, plan, piranhas, and your, what's the last one?
Picture.
God will bless you abundantly. Then there are 4 L's of leadership that John says about. Love your people. Listen to them. Learn from them. Then you have earned the right to lead them. You have earned the right to lead them. And finally, like I said, leading with your passion and purpose is an inside job. You live life from the inside out. It's soul work, like Professor Yana said. So your soul is S for starting from yourself. Confront yourself at the identity level. Who are you? The O is open up to the question of how do you relate to other people? because people matter. And all leadership work that is worth doing requires doing it with people. It requires a community. You can never do it alone. Teamwork makes the dream work. So if you're doing it alone, then you're not doing something that is bigger than yourself. The U is for the universe. We all live in a system and we all notice what is required around us. You don't need to go far. What is that thing around you that needs to be solved right now? What's the problem that you've been complaining? Just like Tina said, what do you sing about? What do you dream about? What do you cry about? That is the problem God has brought to you for a purpose. Don't skip that purpose. Because if you do, you will have a carryover somewhere in your life. It's waiting for you down the line. So do not skip the purpose. And somebody else's destiny is tied to yours. So if you do not move on your purpose, if you do not walk and work in purpose, it's not just about you. Somebody else's purpose is tied to yours. And the L is legacy. Whatever you're doing every day, you are living, L-I-V-I-N-G, you are living a legacy. And that living a legacy is the legacy you're going to leave. So don't wait for one particular day to say, I'm going to leave this legacy. Your daily walk, your daily living is legacy. So what you are doing now, the actions you are taking now, you're going to get the report card along the line. That's the legacy you're living. So be mindful of what you are doing on a daily basis. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, coaches. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Amazing. Please, let's celebrate these women leading with passion and purpose. Amazing coaches, leaders in their own right. In fact, I have, like Mercy says, I have pages and pages of notes, and I'm going to be sharing this over the next few days. So thank you. I've learned so much from you. I have more questions. You know, I have other questions that I couldn't ask. And there are questions that came up as you were talking. So I'll be reaching out to you individually to answer my questions. So all those here in the Zoom room, on Facebook, please celebrate these amazing women, these coaches, and follow them. Follow them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on social, wherever you see them, follow them. I'm going to be tagging them on the post on Facebook, yes, so you follow them, because I'm telling you, they will add tremendous value to your life. And they have published, most of them have published works, books in their own right. They have courses, they have programs, they coach individuals and organizations. So please reach out to them, and I know you will gain tremendous value from doing that. Once again, thank you very much for being with us today on the March Leaders Priority Meetup. It has been my pleasure to host this session alongside my sisters. We look forward to our next meetup in April. It's going to be April the 6th. Yes, first Thursday of the month at 12 noon West Africa time. So we look forward to seeing you with us there as well. Have a fantastic day and rest of the week. God bless you.